guys are doing well. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. I do a segment called Money in the Morning with Dr. Boyce, and I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about a couple of things. First of all, a lot of unmarried people are buying houses together, and I'm going to kind of break some of that down to you in terms of talking about this trend and giving you a all black powernomics perspective on how this might work economically speaking. And on top of that, if you stick around to the end of the video, I will give you a profit alert of a stock that I love, particularly if you're interested in jumping into the space race. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm your friendly neighborhood finance professor on the Black Financial Channel. We talk about black wealth and black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day, under the B1 condition. B1 means we are black first. Black first means that we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means we educate our kids. Black first means we break generational curses. Black first means that we want to understand wealth. Give me a yes in the chat if you agree. Give me a yes or B1 in the chat to let me know that this makes sense to you. Give me a yes if you understand that loving black people does not mean hating white people. I need everybody to understand that we love ourselves, and I'm not apologizing for that ever. So anyway, Crystal, how can you hear me? Give me a yes if you can hear me. Metamore from Chesapeake, Virginia. Can you hear me? Am I coming through? Give me a yes so I can know my audio is good. How's everybody doing today? Good to see you. Much love from B More. My name is Corey. Good to see you. Stephanie Berry, Crystal Jackson Powell. Good to see you. Thank you so much for confirming that the audio is coming through okay. And some of you may be coming in because I sent you guys a text message about a profit alert. This is a stock that I like, a stock that I am going to invest in because I want to make money for my family when the space race happens. So anyway, let's get started today. Let's get it cracking. First of all, I'm really excited this weekend. My wife and I are actually on the campus of Indiana University because this is our 30-year friendiversary. We met each other 30 years ago this week. And so I'm super excited. You know, it's one of the most significant days of my life. I saw her literally across a crowded room. And in my journal that night, I wrote, today I met the most beautiful woman in the world. And so here we are 30 years later, and she's still as beautiful as she was back then. Believe it or not, she still wears the same dress size, which is crazy. I didn't know that was possible. But and also she's a smart black woman. She's a full professor of social work who also reads 22 books a year. So shout out to all the intelligent black women out there. Brothers, if you want to get ahead and you want to be successful, get you an intelligent black woman by your side. That will make you better. That will put you on your game. Her website, by the way, is coachingwithdralicia.com. I'll put that on the screen so everybody can see it. Also, I'd like to remind you that this podcast is also on Spotify. So if you have Spotify, just look up my name, Boyce Watkins, on Spotify. You can find me there. All right, so let's get started on this. So today I read about this new trend. There's an interesting trend happening now where a lot of couples are starting to buy houses together, even though they're not married. And so I'd be curious to know, give me a yes or no. Would you buy a house with somebody you weren't married to? What do you think? Do you think that's crazy? Do you think that's smart? Do you think that's like something you wouldn't even think about, or something you would consider doing under the right conditions? Well, I'm gonna read this article to you, and then I'm gonna kind of give you a Dr. Boyce breakdown of what I think on this. Basically, because everything's getting so expensive, and thank you, Penguin. I see your comments. I'm so inspired by you. Well, I'm inspired. You inspire me. And so they say here on CNBC that unmarried couples make up 18% of all first-time home buyers for the first time ever, according to a report by the National Association of Realtors. Many young unmarried couples live together, often for financial reasons. While these couples may be eager to own a home, there are a few things they should consider before becoming homeowners. So what they said here is that this number, 18% of all new home buyers being unmarried couples, it's increased from 4%, which is where it was in 1985. The organization mailed out a survey and received 4,800 responses of homeowners who bought their primary residence between July 2021 and June of 2022. Quote, unmarried couples have been on the rise as home buyers, and now they're at the highest point we've recorded, says Jessica Louch, the Washington, D.C.-based vice president of research of the National Association of Realtors. Buying a house is a bigger commitment than renting, so while these couples may be eager to own a home, there are a few things you should consider before purchasing property together. All right, so let's see here. It says many young unmarried couples live together, often for financial reasons. About 3 in 5 unmarried couples in the U.S. live with their partners. So, has anybody? I'm just curious about this. How many of y'all have ever shacked up before with somebody? Give me a yes if you ever shacked up. I've shacked up. I've done it. I did it in my 20s. I shacked up in my 20s. It was hard work. If I was to do it over again, I don't know if I would have done it that way, right? I did shack up with an awesome lady that I loved very much. But one thing I didn't realize is that when you're young, you just don't know how to manage relationships. And so, so I learned a lot. It was an experience I should have done differently. The number one thing I would have changed, to be honest with you, is I would have had a mentor, a relationship mentor. I think everybody needs either a relationship mentor or a therapist, especially if you're young. If you have somebody you love and you want it to work out, just understand that all couples have disputes. All couples have disagreements. My wife and I have disagreements all the time. But it's not whether you have a disagreement, it's how you handle the disagreement. So if you have somebody in your life that you love, a good friend that you want to work with to protect the relationship. Sorry, this chair. I'm in a hotel and these chairs do weird stuff. So this chair literally went way down on me. That's why I got super short in about 3 seconds. But anyway, if you have somebody in your life that you want to keep around, learn how to manage conflict, learn conflict resolution, learn conflict resolution, learn conflict resolution. If you don't learn conflict resolution, you'll have a lot of heartbreak in your life. You'll lose things that are more valuable than money. You'll find yourself missing people that you cut out of your life because of a simple misunderstanding. And I don't want that to happen to you. So the biggest advice I would give you is to just to learn those tools of conflict resolution, and definitely even get therapy. My wife is a therapist, by the way. And so this is where I learned this type of stuff. But anyway, so yeah, I did shack up, and so let's talk about this. So what they're saying here in this article about unmarried couples buying houses together is they said that splitting the cost of housing can be a big part of your budget. That makes sense. They said unlike married homeowners, almost half of unmarried homeowners, 46%, have made financial sacrifices, including picking up secondary jobs to finance their purchase, etc. So they said unmarried versus married home buyers end up making massive sacrifices. Now they're talking about unmarried home buyers, not just people that are buying it together with someone else. But I want to show you all this chart. If you're on Spotify, you won't see it, but I'll describe it to you. If you're on TikTok, you won't be able to see it either. But I'm going to put this on the screen. If you go to drboycetv.com or theblackfinancialchannel.com, you should be able to see it. So it says here, you can see on this chart, basically the dark blue is unmarried. The light blue is married. And so basically, if you look here, cutting on non-essential goods, unmarried people have to do it a whole lot more. Cutting spending on entertainment, unmarried people have to do a whole lot more. Cutting spending on clothes, unmarried people have to do a whole lot more. Taking a second job, more than double. Making minimum payments on bills, triple. They're triple. The rate of people that are unmarried, let me explain this is saying here. The rate of people who are not married who have to cut is double, even triple that of married people. Well, why is this? Why does this ring my ears as a finance professor, and as a married man and as a black man? It's because this is common sense. Actually, this is really common sense. My wife and I work together to do things, and there are sometimes situations where we run into things that are so difficult where we say, "Man, this would be really hard to do if we were doing this by ourselves." When my wife got sick with COVID and I was taking over the household and feeding her breakfast and making sure she was good and making sure the kids got what they need and that they went to bed on time and that the dinner was ready and all this stuff, she was saying this would have been really hard to do by myself. And I said, that's because that's not a job you're supposed to do by yourself. You're not supposed to do that. I mean, that's a hard job, right? Taking care of the family and being sick, right? It's tough, right? Same thing. When I had surgery where I had to be put under. I was down for about 2 weeks, couldn't get out of bed, couldn't do hardly anything. Well, my wife handled everything. I was able to focus on healing, just focus on healing. That was it, just healing. So that made me appreciate as a former single man, like, wow, okay, this is why when it works out well, marriage can be a wonderful thing, right? So I'm not sitting here telling everybody to go get married, but what I am saying to you is that, the whole conversation about how fun it is to be super single, that's all fun and good when it comes to like the childish stuff, the dating, meeting girls and all that stuff. But when you get to real life, give me a yes if you understand. Give me a yes if you get what I'm saying here. When you get to real life stuff, the day to day, the challenge of living, paying bills, getting stuff done, handling business. What's up, Super Dave? I see you. Then, having help makes a big difference, right? And that's where, I've spoken to you guys extensively, in the Black Business School, where we have over 156,000 students around the world, and we've helped millions more. We created the first ever Black financial therapy department in that school. And the reason we created a financial therapy department specifically for black folks is because black people have had a unique experience that makes your life uniquely difficult. You have unique challenges that create unique hurdles and obstacles. You have unique opportunities as well, but you have to be able to uniquely see those unique opportunities by not being distracted by false opportunities, right? For example, the little black boy who wants to be wealthy one day needs to be able to focus on how he has a unique opportunity to go build a business or get into science, STEM programs, and not be distracted by the false opportunity of getting to the NFL. Do you understand? Because the NFL, that's a false opportunity. 99.9% of all black boys who play football never make a penny playing football, but 99.9% of all black boys who study math, science, and engineering and entrepreneurship make money doing math, science, engineering, and entrepreneurship. Give me a yes in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Give me a yes if you get this. It's mindset, people. It's mindset. So my wife, who's a therapist, a very good one, and she has a lot of friends that are good therapists, we're partnering with the best black therapists to really say, what do we have to change in terms of mindset? What barriers, what trauma do we have to overcome that's going to help us to view wealth and success in a certain way? So when I talk to you about wealth, just understand on this platform, there's this stupid chair doing that again. When I talk to you guys on this platform, I'm not just going to talk about the basics and the X's and O's of wealth. Anybody can do that. Any financial advisor, accountant, or stockbroker can tell you about IRAs, 401ks. They can tell you about stocks and bonds. They can tell you about the basics of real estate. But as a finance professor, what I've done over the last 30 years, I started teaching. I taught my first class of finance on this campus that I'm on right now, Indiana University, when I was 22 years old in 1993. That has allowed me to really look deeply into what's happening to black folks and what it has kept us from getting where we need to be. A lot of it starts here. It starts here. It's not what you can do, it's what you choose to do. It's not where you started, it's where you finish. It's not what you are, where you're located, it's what you're aiming for. A lot of times you miss the mark because you're aiming for the wrong target. Do you get what I'm saying? All right, so anyway, do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching the Black Financial Channel. Hang out for just a couple more minutes and I'll give you guys the stock pick of the week. If you'd like to get profit alerts sent to you via text, just text the word stock to 31996. Text stock to 31996. And also I'll put my Instagram up here, Dr. Boyce Finance, if you want to hop up there. And in addition to that, I'm going to be this upcoming weekend, I'm going to be in Los Angeles for just 2 days doing a Black Wealth training camp. And the training camp is going to focus on exactly what I've done reasonably well. We've done this pretty well. Platform building that you can monetize so that you can actually take your skill, knowledge, experience, and expertise and present that to the world. We have almost 500 million views on YouTube. We have millions of followers on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff added up together. We have been able to bring millions of dollars back into the Black community, including substantial support for Dr. Claude Anderson, his Powernomics Corporation, things like that. And I'm going to just break it down and explain to you how I do it, how I did it, how I built it. So if you want to learn these things, I think it's really important, especially for people that live in LA, because I'm sick and tired of seeing all these super talented writers, directors, actors, producers, etc. in LA that look like us, who can't get opportunities because some studio won't give them a job. I think that we need to get past the day where you can't do what you do best because somebody won't give you a job. Give me a yes if you understand. I want you to get past the day where your child is saying, oh man, I would be able to do this, but nobody will give me an opportunity. I don't believe that any person, my dream is by the year 2070, there's not a single person in our community. I'm not talking about the whole Black community. I can't communicate with every Black person. Not every person understands this. Some people think I'm being uppity when I talk about Black excellence, and I can't help those people. All I do is keep it moving. But I believe everyone in that Black first community, I don't want to hear a single child sit around and say, I'm just waiting for someone to give me an opportunity. Let's understand this. Let's just keep it 100. When you Black, they ain't going to give you nothing. My grandma told me, when you Black, they ain't gonna give you nothing. Even when you white, America don't want to give you nothing. Capitalism don't want to give you nothing. You don't go out saying, I hope somebody gives me an opportunity. You got to say, I'm going to go create an opportunity. And then I'll give an opportunity to someone else. Opportunities are things that your children should be giving, not something that your children should be seeking. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying. This is how I'm raising my kids. These are the conversations that we're having in the kitchen, in the living room, at home, all the time, every day, because I don't want your ability to pursue and access your greatness that God gave you to be limited by people with a very limited perspective on what you can do because you're Black. Seriously, I don't believe that that's any form of progress. I want to see us go for what we want and be able to create that. So that's one of the things that we're doing in LA this week. If you want to join us, just go to boycewatkins.com and you can get information about LA. You can get lots of free stuff there as well. You can get a free copy of our $5 a day investing plan that will make your family wealthy in less than a generation. Also, we don't just talk, we don't just complain, we make plans. So we have the $5 a day investing plan, free to the entire community, training how to make money without working. That's free to anybody that wants to take a look. All that stuff is on my website, boycewatkins.com. All right. So last but not least, let's hop in. Let's finish this up. So we're talking about unmarried couples that are buying houses together. And this is interesting. So what we talked about a second ago is that people that buy houses and property or try to survive in this economy that are not married, it's not only hard for you, but it's actually getting harder. I'm not telling everybody to get married. What I'm saying is that it's easier to get things done if you have a teammate. Okay. Deion Sanders, for example, God bless him, just had a great win against what was it? A team down. What was it? TCU, number 17 TCU. God bless him. Shout out to Deion. Congratulations on a great win. Well, he couldn't have beat TCU if he didn't have a team. Right? You have to have a team. You have to have multiple people working toward the same goal where everybody understands their job. Deion could not have beaten TCU with just one player. There's no one player great enough that could have allowed him to beat an entire team. So when you're talking about economics, working together as a team is something that is essentially super important. And so what they're saying here is that unmarried people or people that don't have a team, period, are going to struggle. And it's getting worse because the debt, student loan debt is going up, credit card debt's going up. The cost of everything is going up. Wages are not going up. Wages are going down. So if you're an individual trying to live the life of two people or accomplish the job of two people, it becomes harder and harder for you to do. So one of the things that they say that's interesting here, and they talk about the pros and cons of marriage in this article in CNBC. They said that in order to walk away from a marriage, you have to get a divorce. So there's more staying power. So one of the reasons that people are more likely to stay together if they're married is because it's harder for someone to just get mad on a Tuesday and be out on a Wednesday. Okay, that's one of the big differences that occurs in marriage. But one of the things that's interesting to me, and this is something I thought about. Okay, so let me tell you a real story, true story. There's a guy who he was in it. He was about 50 years old. He made some money. And he wanted to he didn't want to get married. He wanted to kind of be a player and stuff. So he had like young girlfriends and everything, but he found one young lady that he really liked. And she's about 32 years old. I mean, I'm not judging, right? He had a little bit of money. So he attracted a lot of the young, pretty girls. So he had this young girl living with him. So she came to live with him, and his mother was living with him too. So they were all dependent on him financially. Well, when marriage would come up, she'd say, well, I'm not going to pressure him into marriage. And he would say, nah, I don't want to get married. But I got you. I got you, girl. I got you. Right. He said, like, I got you, girl. I got you. Well, unfortunately, he didn't realize that sometimes men in their 50s have, they have heart attacks, they have strokes, bad things happen. Right. I'm not saying it happens to everybody, but when you're a black man, especially not eating right, not exercising, you can go down fast. And so he went down with a stroke. And so he had a stroke. He was down for about 3 weeks. He couldn't really talk, couldn't do anything, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. And in fact, I think he was in a coma. And during that time, the girlfriend and the mother had a big problem. The big problem was that they had no legal rights. They had no right to go into his bank account. They could not get access to the money. They could not get access to pay the bills that he would normally pay. And on top of that, the daughter, as you can imagine, did not approve of her father's relationship, right? Give me a yes if you understand where I'm coming from. Like the daughter is like, hold up, I'm 29. You're dating a girl that's 3 years older than me. I went to high school with this girl. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So she's pissed. She don't never like it. But you can't stop your daddy from doing what daddy wants to do. But unfortunately, daddy's in a coma now. So let me tell you what happened. True story. I'm not making this up. The girlfriend and the mother conspired to use his phone, and they put his phone up to his face so they can break into his bank account, right? Because you got to do that. The phone, y'all got a phone like that where you put your face up to the phone. So they had to get it. They used his face, broke into his phone to get into his bank account, and they got the money out that they needed to pay all their bills. They weren't trying to rob him. They weren't trying to do nothing dirty, theoretically. They were just trying to get the money that he would have gladly paid if he wasn't dead or almost dead. I gave you a foreshadow because he did eventually die. Right. So he dies. The daughter finds out that these ladies had gone into the cell phone to take the money. Now, the daughter already doesn't like the girl. The daughter's already pissed about the relationship. And so the daughter goes and files criminal charges against the girlfriend and the mama, right? And so they were facing jail time. Not to mention, on top of jail time, there was eviction, because you're getting the hell up out of that house, because now the house belongs to the daughter. You know why? Because the father made no arrangements. He had no trust in place, no estate plan in place, didn't even have a will. Well, y'all know what happens. What happens when you die without a will and you got a child? What happens to that, to all your money? Oh, it goes to like the child. Your kid's gonna get that. So the daughter's like, give me all. I want everything. I need a place to live. No, I don't care. You need a place to live. Get out. The sheriff's coming to the house. You need to have your things out by Tuesday. And on top of that, I also told the sheriff that you stole $25,000 out of his bank account. This was a real story, right? So why did I tell you all this story? The reason I told you this story is because, you have to have a plan. If you love somebody, you'll make a plan for them. If somebody loves you, they'll make a plan for you. I have a plan for my wife. I told my wife, like, okay, I've signed some documents so that you can get into the bank account to pay the mortgage this week or next month if something were to happen to me. I'm flying. I'm learning how to fly airplanes. I'm becoming a pilot right now. For God's sake, I gotta have a plan in case that plane don't come back. Which got fingers crossed. I'm a safe pilot, by the way. I'm very safe. But if that happened, at least I go down knowing, okay, she's gonna be all right. Okay. And so what I would say to you, here's what I would say. My advice to I don't give financial advice. This is not financial advice, but Uncle Boyce and Dr. Boyce both agree that if you are shacking up with somebody, or if you have somebody's back or they have your back, maybe you don't get a marriage, but at least give them a plan. Maybe you don't get a wedding, but at least give them a contract. Right. And it shouldn't just be a plan on paper. It should be a legal plan that gives them legal validity, so that when they go in and they say, hey, there's assets here and I should get a piece of this, they're not going to say, well, you're just the ride or die chick. Ride or dies. We don't have any classification under any person with legal rights. They underwrite. We got rights for the child. We got rights for the spouse. We got rights for even the siblings, but we have nothing here for a ride or die girlfriend. You his bottom blanket. That we don't have a space for that. I know you had his back, and I'm sure that that's true. But now he's dead, so you have nothing. So I would say that if you buy property together as an unmarried couple, which I think is not a bad idea. Again, teamwork, I believe, is critically important in this economy because it's changing. Put some stuff on paper. Go see a lawyer and say, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what we need to have in place. And if someone's not willing to do that for you, I'm going to argue that they don't really love you that much. They might love you, but they don't care about you. Loving somebody is different from caring about somebody. I can love you. I can love a damn car. I can love my dog. I love skiing. But me loving my wife ain't the same as me caring about my wife, because loving her means that I want to get close to her. I want to cuddle with her. I want to give her kisses on the cheek. I love her sexy body. But caring about her means I'm going to be a man, a responsible, mature man, and make sure that you're going to be good whether I'm here or not. I told our daughter the other day. I said I need you to understand. I'm going to be here with you forever. Even when I'm dead, I'm gonna still be right here. I need you to know that I'm gonna be with you even when I'm dead. So think that way when you're talking about making these plans, so you don't end up in the tough spot of the guy that I just described. This is a true story. This really happened. It's probably happened millions of times. All right, now I gotta go. Speaking of my wife, she's waiting on me. We're about to go to an art festival, and I appreciate. Thank you, baby, for your patience. I love you. And she's back there like, yeah, right. Yeah, man. Anyway, all right. Well, I love you guys, and thank you so much for listening. And as I promised, I told you guys I'd give you the profit alert, the stock that I like. Do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button if you have not done that yet. You're watching the Black Financial Channel with Dr. Boyce Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce, and I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. I have a new book out. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. And if you'd like to go get a copy, you can go and I will sign a copy and send it to you. You can go to my website, boycewatkins.com, or you can also see all my books if you go to drboycebooks.com. And in fact, my wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins, her books are also on my website. And you can actually order autographed copies of my books. You can get there's a whole study guide also for my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. So feel free to go take a look at that. A lot of you seem to like that. It's an Amazon bestseller. So thank you for supporting the book. Also, if you'd like to get the profit alert sent to you via text, just text the word stock to 31996. If somebody put that in the chat, text stock to 31996. All right. So here's what I'm buying right now. Let me see where I always lose paper. Hold on. Okay. I wrote it down. This is what I'm gonna buy when the market's open. Not on Monday. They're gonna open on Tuesday because tomorrow's a holiday. But I'm going to buy shares of the ARK Space ETF. If you have an interest in space travel and you want to invest in space travel, I believe this is not investing advice. I believe that the ARK Space ETF is a place to be. Now, again, not investing advice. It's done well this year. It's gone up 17%. It could go back down again, but honestly, I think it's still underpriced. Not investing advice. There's no guarantees in investing. It's very important for you to understand that. But the ARK Space ETF, the ticker symbol is ARKX. ARKX, ARKX. And Kathy Wood, who runs this fund, is one of the smartest in the game. I like Kathy Wood. I like what she's doing. I like the way she's investing in the future. So I have probably tens of thousands of dollars invested with her company because I like what she does and I like the way her team is analytical and the way they have a long view on investing. So ARKX, ARKX. Somebody type that in the chat. So no one comes back and says that they didn't see it. All right. So if you could, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I will be in Los Angeles on September 8th and 9th in just a few days. If you'd like to join us in Los Angeles for the Black Wealth Training Camp we're going to do in LA, just go to boycewatkins.com. Also, if you want to, I have a Telegram channel, Black Investors Telegram channel. If you'd like to follow there, just go to Dr. Boyce telegram.com. So there's a lot of stuff out here that can help you and support you in your goal to become a better investor. And I want to say how much I appreciate the fact that all of you were hanging out with me today. It is always an honor, always a pleasure. So I'm going to go hang out with my wife. It's our 30-year anniversary of getting to know each other. And so I'm super excited and honored to have this woman in my life. And also I always have to give a shout out to Black women because I don't think the world respects you the way that they should. And I want to just say that because that's what's on my heart. So have a good day, everybody. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Take care now. Peace.